think we can wait for another maybe 2 minutes for more people to come.
Hi, no 14.
Already start now. Just to mention that this session is being recorded. So we will make it public later for those who cannot come, especially because we have people from different parts of the world, and we have like different time zones. So that's why we usually upload this on our Notion page, and it will be available online as well. Right, cool. Thank you so much for being here today. Basically, we planned it last week, but we couldn't make it due to some issues, but that's fine. We are here today, and we're going to have our session today focusing on a particular topic called Young Stewards Leading Regeneration. So we'll be looking more at specific projects that are being done related to young people, or even they're started by young people themselves, right? So we'll have two people. Thank you so much, Daniel and also Simon. So both of them will be speaking more later after this. But before that, just a few house rules. Please keep your microphone muted when you're not speaking. But feel free to open your camera. I would love to see your face. Like I know that we are all, in this virtual space. So it'd be great to actually see your face. And also, if you have any questions, please ask questions, or you can raise your hand, or you can also write it in the chat box. Cool. Before we start, I'd just like to know where are people coming or joining us from. Just write in the chat box your country. Yeah. I am Fatin. I'm from Malaysia, based in Malaysia. It's 9 p.m. right now in Malaysia. So feel free to share in the chat box where you joining us from today.
Hi everyone, this is
Hi.
Daniel from Uganda, East Africa, and it is 4 p.m.
Right. Cool. Thank you, Daniel. David is in Iceland. Peter is in Nairobi, Kenya. Cool. So keep sharing in the chat box. A second, get admitting more people in. Let's see. Right. Cool. Next, before we start, quick vibe check. How are you feeling today? Just write the number in the chat box. Are you a one? Maybe you're the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. Feel free to share. Peter's a 9. Okay. It's 4 p.m. Understandable. Anyone else want to share? Diego is also 9. Cool. Hi, Simon. Okay. Cool. Keep it coming. Right. So before we start, to Simon and also Daniel, I think I can just quick updates from GainForest. I just want to mention that we have 3 new blog posts out. So if you haven't subscribed to our Substack yet, please do so. But basically, these are some of my writing based on my experience meeting the amazing people from Kenya. So these two were with Asif, and also another one was Soralo. So thank you so much for hosting me. So if you like to know more what I did when I was there, feel free to read. And we also have a collaborative blog post with Grassroots Economics, which they um, released in their own blog or Substack. Cool. So if you haven't read any of these, feel free. I've already sent some links as well in the community announcement. Cool. And another thing, oops, sorry, it's 3. I just like to also mention what have been cooking for the past actually 5 months. So we just like to announce here or introduce here today what we have here, which is called Nature Guild. Apologies, I might be coughing from time to time. But anyways, Nature Guild have been cooking for the past 4 or 5 months, and even when I was traveling, I was also trying to gain some ideas on establishing Nature Guild. And it is really an extension of what we already have right now. So as you understand right now, I am the community manager, and then we have these community calls, but I also want people or communities to actually be part of the decision making. So Nature Guild, in a way, if we use the Web3 term, it is a DAO. So it's a collaborative governance model that we want to test with people in the GainForest network, using Web3 tools and also other tech tools. So I'm just going to do a quick introduction on what we have so far. So in a way, this is our manifesto. So we want to bring people together, and these are the people who restore the environment through community action. And we want to also connect local knowledge to global collaboration. As you can already see right now, we are meeting people from different parts of the world. And our foundation, there are 3. Number 1 is trust in each other and our shared mission. Second is, of course, science to guide our measure and measure our impact. And also number 3 is the belief that communities can lead change, and when they are supported with the right tools, the right systems, and also networks. And these are our mission and focus so far. So the first one is to really make conservation or restoration very community-led. So we want to support projects that are run by the local communities, and we can offer some tools, and also global connections, funding opportunities, for example. But at the same time, respect the way that you are all doing things on the ground, because you know better, you know your place, you know your people. So we're trying to become the bridge, and also we want to have local representatives to actually guide others in their own language and also culture. So it's not just me, because I'm in Malaysia, so I might not know things from other countries. And then second, we also want to highlight the use of data for impact. So this is our main thing, even with our tools like EcoSet, for example. Data is the main thing that we try to create that culture of, look, we need to have data to prove the work that we're doing, right? And then number 3 is we want to focus on land-based restoration, and also anyone who are working on resilient systems. So people who are working to build community resilience, for example, and those who are already network, doing a lot of land-based restoration, right? And then number 4, of course, strategic technology use. So especially with what we have right now, we use the Web3 and also other tech tools to support whatever work that you're doing at the moment. So the Nature Guild work in a cohort kind of system or style, I would say. So for the past 3 months, we've already had this cohort 0. And this is like a trial cohort, I guess. But we will open more cohort in the future. But essentially, this is what governance model that we're trying to practice or exercise. So basically, cohort 0 will become maybe we can start with here, which is community input. So we want to actually listen. So we call this as broad listening. So we want to listen from the bigger or wider community, and which is all of you who are here today. So how we want to do this is, number 1, through this kind of community calls that we have monthly. And then secondly, if you want to have one-to-one session with me, I can also do one-to-one listening. And then we also want to have AI assisted async input. So what we are thinking right now is to have a Telegram bot, so that we can get some information, collecting data from all of you in terms of concerns, wish list, for example. So yeah, stay tuned. We will reveal bit by bit from time to time. And from all this data, we want cohort 0 to actually sit down together, just think about the emerging topics that arise from whatever that we receive from the community input, and next, try to make sense of that particular concern or particular wish list, for example, and then try to make a decision and then get some feedback for the wider community, and then the loop kind of like goes back to community input. So this is what we have at the moment. So if you think like you have any input, feel free. You can also meet me for a one-to-one session. And I'm just introducing to you, all of you, our cohort 0 members. So we have Sakwa from Uganda, Jaya from India, Daniel from Uganda, Jambi from Kenya, Simon from Uganda, Marina from Brazil, and then we have two GainForest representatives, which is Gabriel and also me. So again, this is cohort 0, like a very trial cohort. If you like to be part of cohort 1, for example, we can definitely explore in the future. And then this is how we envision it to be. So for the next 6 months, cohort 0 will go through like a nature guild curriculum. And also like a mixture of people who are already in the Web3 for some time, and also people who are like quite new. So that's why we want to introduce them to this like structured curriculum where they will learn more about Web3, like simple stuff like the basics of Web3, and also like security, wallet security, for example. And then moving forward, we want to have more cohorts, and we also want to have like nodes, especially in different regions or different countries. So this is what we envision right now, but right now we are here, which is cohort 0, and we will start with the curriculum. So just mentioning out there, like how can you be involved? So I know that cohort 0 is literally like 7 to 8 people. It's super small, and we're trying this out. But of course, you can follow our journey. Number one, you can read some updates on our blog. We will post it from time to time. And second, please, we're happy to hear and see you here during our community calls. And also, if you are or if you have been part of curriculum making process, I would love to hear your input because this is also like our first time creating this like Web3. But I also understand that some of you have already been in the Web3 space for quite some time, and maybe you know how to teach people. So if you would like to share it, your experience with me, feel free. We can have a call, and then moving forward, like I mentioned, we might have like a Telegram bot where you can actually, like how people will collect data using like forms and stuff like that. So what we're trying to introduce is like a Telegram bot where you can talk with it, but you are actually telling it like what you want or your concerns. So keep it stay tuned for that. And if you like to share anything with me, feel free to book a call with me so you can share your ideas or concerns and wishes. And lastly, if you are interested to be part of the future cohort openings, here's a form. So yeah, feel free to scan this if you like to know more about the next cohort. Cool. I think I've spoken a lot, but yes, I think we can move to our presentation. I'm really excited actually to listen to these two speakers. And I think we can start with Simon. Are you okay to start first?
Sure. Yeah, I could go first.
Right. Okay.
Am I audible?
Yes, you're clear. I'm gonna stop sharing now, and I'm gonna let you share.
Okay. Let me see.
Yes, I can see it. If you can make it bigger as a slideshow, that'd be great.
How do I do that?
You can click slideshow.
Where exactly? Slide. Okay.
Yes. Yep. Cool. We can see it now.
Okay, cool. Hi everyone. My name is Simon Eze. I'm a RefiDAO contributor. I'm also a climate-based cohort 7 alumni. So my project is OSISI. OSISI has been been inspired by my activities and research at RefiDAO, and also learning a lot from the indigenous knowledge in my hometown. I'm actually from the Niger Delta region, so there's a whole lot of a mix of indigenous wisdom and Web3 experience from RefiDAO. Let's go. So I'm not alone. OCC has been an experience and learning from different individuals. We have Adeze. She's also Adeze is a co-founder of RefiDAO. She's also heading Project AfriLearn. And we also have Dennis. Dennis is also a climate coordinator here in Lagos. He works with a whole lot of NGOs locally here in Lagos. So our mission at OCC is to empower our nature steward, that is tree planters. We are focusing on scaling tree planting event or tree planting festival here in Nigeria. And of course, we are open to scale it all across Africa. So it's just to bring in learning from the indigenous knowledge and integrating a bit of Web3 tools or Refi tools, making it a bit transparent and making it scalable. So we also try to connect impact donors and grants to people doing the real work here in Africa. The whole aim is to promote indigenous conservation, green skills and jobs in Africa. So what is the problem? In Nigeria, we are having a whole lot of deforestation. Deforestation is a very big issue here in Nigeria. Over 96% of our primary forests has been lost to deforestation. This is a very big problem. And another big problem we have in Nigeria is lack of climate awareness, or will I say climate illiteracy. Over 61% of Nigerians don't understand what is climate change, particularly in the rural areas. So this is a very big problem. And I think bringing that awareness to communities for them to be aware that it's climate change and there is a need to get involved brings a whole lot of difference. And also, over 90% of African farmers lack access to finance, traditional finance. Most of them can't access their traditional banks, so they don't have access to finance to get involved in climate action. So these are all big issues that that got us involved into building our project OCC. So our solution is simple. Our solution is to train stewards, get them involved in climate action, and of course, connect impact donors or grants, people that are willing to sponsor tree planting events in Africa. So we coordinate, we help in the impact reporting and the whole coordination of trees from the farmers or from the tree garden to the tree planting event, coordinating the whole logistics it takes to get this done. The whole ecosystem is very broad. We are dealing with tree farmers, we are dealing with indigenous people, local validators, and stewards, and all of this comes with training. And of course, we are also integrating DMRV and Web3 tools. We are also working with region coordination. We are leveraging the Karma Gap, the impact measurement framework. So so far we have planted over 300 native trees. It's not much, but the main impact here is training students. We are focusing in primary schools and secondary schools. We go to schools, we get them involved. We train students in planting of these trees and getting involved, because it makes a lot of difference. We don't just plant trees, we have to train them so that they can go to their respective communities and villages to plant more of these trees. So far we have trained over 5,000 students. We have planted over 300 native trees, and we are training a lot of ambassadors. And we have a lot of partners. We are working with CV Protocol, we are working with region coordination, we are working with Gitcoin Now, Refi Lagos, OCC is a Refi Lagos project and also a climate-based project as well. We're also working with GainForest in the whole EcoSat, bringing transparency in what we are doing. So these are some of the projects we have done since last year. We have planted some trees here in Lagos, Ombole Grammar School. As I said earlier, we focus in schools for now. We are planting in schools. With time, we can move in planting in maybe in real estate in other locations. But for now, we think integrating a bit of education and tree planting in schools make much difference and give a whole lot of impact. So we have also planted in Akure. Our recent project was in Badagry, the Badagry Tree Planting Festival. It has been long in making. We integrated a whole lot of things, working with traditional leaders and students and teachers. So it was very, very much iconic. So this was some of the stakeholders. Most of them are teachers. Most of them are traditional leaders in Badagry. Badagry is a coastal community here in Lagos. As I said earlier, we're integrating DMRV. We are working with CV. These are some places we have planted trees so far. Our impact is measured, metrics. We are looking at ecological data. So the idea is to scale as much data as possible. Number of trees, the tree species, number of students impacted, and number of farmers as well. Number of farmers impacted as well. These are whole metrics we are considering. So this is our flywheel effect. We try to prioritize supply of labor, getting people to involve in the whole activities. Reward impact, which is the trees. Ecological data production, because we engage in harvesting data, climate data in each of these localities, asking questions, how can we get it better, and asking how has it been done before. So these are all very much important to us. These are all part of the whole reward impact, right? Where we attract more donors and generate more impact. And yeah, so this was our last event, the Tree Planting Festival. As I said earlier, we impacted 4,000 students in this particular event. We planted in 8 different schools. We planted 100 trees in 8 different schools. So this is a collaboration with Lagos State Government, with region coordination, support from region coordination and GainForest, the funds we got during the last GG23, and also support from Refi Lagos. Yeah, so that is it. It's quite brief. So this is what we are doing at OCC. We hope to scale our activities and our actions in the future. We are open to collaboration. We are open to partnership with anyone that is interested in scaling tree planting in Africa. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Right. Thank you so much, Simon. That was really, really great. I think we can open up like some like a Q&A session right now. We can have like 5 minutes if anyone has any questions. I have one question. In terms of like tree selection,
Yeah.
would you choose like an indigenous tree, or like what kind of trees would you choose for schools?
So we are looking at economic trees. Our last festival, we focused mainly on coconut. So Badagry is the coconut capital of Nigeria. They have lots of coconuts. So this is an indigenous, is a native tree. So we are also prioritizing planting of coconuts. The last 5 years, there have been a lot of deforestation in Badagry. People are cutting coconut trees, using it as planks to roof their houses. For real estate development, they are using it, they are cutting a whole lot of trees. So replacing these trees will make a lot of difference, and it also impact the local communities. So we focus on indigenous trees and economic trees, fruit trees that we benefit people and empower farmers.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Simon. Anyone else have any questions? I have another question. I'm really interested with like the concept of like festival, because in Malaysia, when it comes to tree planting, we don't usually use that term or like
Mm.
make it like an event like this. So is there any particular reason why in your country it makes sense for it to be like a festival?
Okay, so it was meant to be a tree planting event, but the OCC project is inspired by the Mbomuzo Festival. So Mbomuzo is a traditional environmental conservation festival in Southeast Nigeria. It's practiced in my community and a whole lot of other communities in Nigeria. For those from Southeast Nigeria, I think they should know about this. Is an annual event where people get to conserve the environment, clean the road, and plant trees. And this has been long in making for over 100 years. People have been doing this, but suddenly it stopped. Nobody is planting a lot of trees, but I believe bringing back these festivals and integrating it into what we are doing will make a lot of difference, and people will see reasons to mimic the ideas of doing what our ancestors has been doing for centuries, and getting to host their own festival in a much more decentralized way.
Right, that's so cool. In a way, you're also reviving a practice. Cool. Sharia, you have a question?
Hi everyone. Hi, thank you so much for the presentation. I'm sorry, maybe whatever I'm going to raise, you might have mentioned. I'm having internet connection issues. I'm so much interested in your monitoring strategy with this project after planting. How are you guys doing it? Thank you.
Okay, so this is where the climate education makes a lot of sense. So before the planting, we try to educate students why we are doing this. And they are very much aware. We try to work with the teachers. We try to work with the community leaders. Each of the traditional leaders in these communities were involved in this project. So they also check on the schools to make sure they are taking care of these trees. And we try as much as possible to plant during rainy season. Right now is rainy season, so we don't have much of watering to do. But during dry season, we try to get students and teachers to work together to take care of these trees. Permanence is very much important for us, so we try to work with the schools authority and the community leaders to take care of these trees after planting to ensure survival.
Right.
And again, we work with CV protocol in monitoring it remotely. We are using this DMRV protocol to track each of these trees planted. So we have the coordinate of all the trees planted, and we also visit to like verification to make sure that yes, it's actually surviving.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much, Simon. Anyone else have any questions for now? Right. Okay. Thank you so much, Simon. We'll move on to the next speaker. But if you have any questions to Simon, feel free to write in the chat box. We will address it later. And Simon, also feel free to write down your contact details maybe in the chat box for people to reach out to you. Just in case
Sure.
yeah, cool. Thank you so much, Simon. I learned a lot, especially because I've been also reading about your project, but this is like the first time I'm actually listening from you directly. So thank you so much. Cool. I think next we can move to the next speaker, which is Daniel. Cool, Daniel. Feel free to share your screen if you have any slide. Yes, we can see it. Maybe you can make it larger, like a slideshow.
Okay, is it in presenter mode?
I'm not sure why I'm still seeing like previously. But if you
Okay,
can't, it's fine. We can also read from here.
let me try again. Let me try again.
Maybe you have to share the entire screen.
Okay, it seems like I'm having an issue in making it presenter mode into presenter
Yeah,
mode.
I think it's fine. We can read it.
I don't know. In my back end, I can see it in presenter mode, but then I can't.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Cool. We can read it well. So feel free
Okay.
to you.
All right. Hey everyone, it's nice to see you all. My name is Daniel Esayu. I am the CEO for Youth Leading Environmental Change. In short, we're known as YLEC. And as YLEC, we are youth and a Ugandan-based NGO that is much specifically geared towards looking out for the youth and having them engaged in various aspects regarding environmental conservation, but also improving the livelihoods of their communities. I am specifically going to talk about the living labs on a project that we are partnering with other collaborators, a project called agroforestry for people, ecosystems, and climate change, and that is AFPEC in short. But before I go there, allow me to talk about YLEC. We are a youth-led organization that is based in Uganda, and our mission is to involve youth from diverse fields in solving different environmental problems that are geared towards maintaining a good environmental sustainability. And we are doing this mainly through research and imparting knowledge in capacity building initiatives within the society. Our geographical niche, we are in Uganda and mainly in the eastern central part of the country. And in there, our impact has seen that we've registered over 200 hectares of land restored within the eastern part of the country. We've impacted knowledge and empowered more than 2,000 youth, most of whom are students in schools, and we've greened about 30 schools in the eastern part of the country. Our initiatives of regreening schools are within the establishment of woodlots and shade trees within schools so that students benefit from the shade that these trees offer, but also the woodlots offer an alternative for fuel, but also at the same time, the schools are able to have their microclimate improved for that reason. Besides that, our focus is on climate change. We have food security in there, we have waste management, and then clean energy. And we do this through various approaches of capacity building, but at the same time also want to integrate technology and art in this situation. I'm glad that the GainForest has the technology that we are trying to leverage on to make sure that our impact is notable. And through the art, we use the different materials within the environment to communicate to the wider population through advocacy and many other aspects that pull people's attention towards environmental management and conservation. That is part of our team. And then we are a bigger group than this. We have two operational offices, one within the central part of the country, that is Kampala, the capital, and then one in the eastern part of the country. We are about 15 young people who are leading the organization, and all of us have passion for the environment, and much of whom have completed their university and now working with us. So allow me to dwell into the problem that we are trying to address with the AFPEC project. We In the Mount Elgon region, they are basically coffee farmers that are mainly residing in the highlands of that region. And the region faces an intersection of environmental challenges at the same time socioeconomic challenges. So farmers are challenged with the task of meeting both these challenges and making sure that they are addressed. And at the same time, we are seeing that each of these challenges interdepend on the other. So the farmers depend on the environment, at the same time, the environment would love to see that the farmers restore it or make sure that it is sustainable. So along the way, we've seen the landscape being threatened by a lot of soil erosion, degradation, forestation. At the same time, the population pressure is also becoming a challenge. In the country, we have about 70% of the population being the young people who are mostly unemployed, and the entire result is to depend on natural resources to make sure that they derive a livelihood. And that's why we're seeing the pressure on forests coming in, pressure on the land coming in terms of them trying to source for livelihood. At the same time, we're also realizing that there is a lot of biodiversity loss that is induced by climate change. And this is a reality, and these are some of the key problems that the AFPEC project seeks to address. And in this project, YLEC seeks to establish a model called the Living Labs within the coffee farming region of Mount Elgon. And apparently, we have identified 4 sites where the farmers have voluntarily offered land to establish these living labs. And the maximum size or the minimum size for each living lab is 1 acre. Just because the land is so fragmented, it is difficult to find a bigger piece of land to have a bigger demonstration. However, this good gesture for the farmers to offer land voluntarily is something that we are working with to make sure that we're able to put these demonstrations of good farming practices for the farmers, and we want to demonstrate them specifically using the agroforestry models so that the farmers are able to gain a livelihood, but at the same time, the environment is totally well managed and conserved for future generations. So, how is our living lab model going to operate? One, we have a farmer-led innovation. Like I said earlier, that farmers have voluntarily dedicated land. Our part is to dedicate the technical support, but also making sure that we build the capacity of the farmers to generate the local knowledge and integrate the local knowledge with the technical knowledge that we offer as well. So it is a co-creative model that we want to demonstrate to the farmers. And secondly, it is multi-stakeholder managed, where we have collaborators that are also inputting knowledge from the research world into practice. We are working with Ahas University, Makerere University in Uganda, together with the University of Copenhagen, to make sure that whatever research is linked to agroforestry and good farming practices, we are going to demonstrate it within the living labs so that the farmers have extension services easily accessed within their farming households. What benefits are we visualizing? So far, we hope that the farmers gain diverse plant products, especially from the aspect of the agroforestry. From the living labs themselves, the farmers are able to host groups that are going to come and learn from them, and in there they're able to generate income from the different initiatives that are embedded within the living labs. Secondly, we are looking at an enhanced environmental sustainability, where we're looking at living labs contributing to the microclimate, but also teaching the environmental benefits to the farmers and the aspect of promoting biodiversity and good soil health for future gains. We have a number of initiatives, what we call themes, that we are going to have in the living labs. So far, we have already started on 2 of them. The first one is the nursery beds for farmers. The entire vision is to make sure that the farmers have the skill of establishing nursery beds for both coffee seedlings, but also for native trees or indigenous trees that they can incorporate within their farming households. The problem has been that farmers are willing to plant trees, but besides planting trees, they do not have the knowledge of maintaining or cultivating their own tree seedlings from zero. So we're giving the farmers the knowledge and also giving them the capacity to raise trees through nursery beds within these living labs. And secondly, we are demonstrating agroforestry models. We realize that besides trees, farmers are also incorporating other crops like bananas or plantain within the coffee, which are also good in the way that coffee produces, that it enhances the coffee value chain, but also widens the different economic sectors for the farmers. Thirdly, we are going to demonstrate apiary where farmers are able to keep bees that are going to be able to pollinate and increase the value of the coffee. They are also going to be able to make sure that the apiary helps them to provide, to gain access to value of food, the value from the foods that the honey is going to provide. But lastly, it encourages the farmers to plant trees that are going to be forage for the bees. And then, because of the increasing climate change issues within the Mount Elgon region, estimating that the rains have increased and there's a lot of soil erosion happening in the area. So the farmers love to understand how they are going to conserve the rainwater that is being caused by the heavy rains in the region, conserve the soil moisture, but at the same time have soil water control. So these are all aspects that are going to be demonstrated within the living lab. And then lastly, we want to demonstrate the aspect of agro-waste management. We want to have a complete cycle where the farmer does not almost lose anything from their garden or plot, but they are able to recycle almost everything that is produced either as waste or whatever value they can achieve from a small plot of land that they are carrying out farming from, and aiming at having a very good sustainable or an organic cycle of farming within the region. So within the nursery beds, in the first theme, we are targeting that farmers are able to raise over 10,000 tree seedlings, both coffee and also indigenous or the native trees. There is a high market that farmers are willing to plant these trees, and if they're able to produce these seedlings, they can get a side income on top of their agro activities. And our activities are direct. We include the farmers in the dialogue, we engage them in seed selection or tree selection based on what they need. That's why we said in the beginning, it's a farmer-led innovation. Whatever they decide on to plant is what they put in the nurseries so that they can attract domestic market. Under agroforestry modeling, like I said, we love to engage farmers to open up their farm visions so that they're able to plan for their farming households, to plan what kind of agroforestry systems are they able to maintain, which ones are they able to gain from, and which ones are suitable for their land parcels. So in there, we engage them in design planning, do discussions, they develop site maps, they develop different pathways within which they will be able to undertake the different models of agroforestry and the different plant enterprises they love to incorporate in the living lab or within their individual gardens. And then within the apiary, like I said, we have already started on planting the trees, especially coriander. So far, we have planted over 300 in all the 4 sites, trees of coriander. This is in anticipation for the bee hives or the bees that we are going to introduce within time, so that by the time we introduce the bees, there's also forage for them to start on from. And then we're going to teach the farmers to add value to the honey on how to process it and so that it meets the local market value. And then lastly, like I said, on water harvesting and soil conservation, we are looking at about 4 aspects. where we want to control erosion, we want to do rainwater harvesting, rooftop, off the roof for the farmers, so that this water can be used in periods of shortages. And then we're looking at soil moisture conservation. Along with the tree planting, we also want to see that the ground cover is well maintained to avoid a lot of excessive moisture, but also to put nutrients within the soil, to add nutrients within the soil. So within the soil moisture conservation, we are looking at planting the creeping plants, the legumes, so that the ground is covered and it is not left there for runoff during intense rain periods. Yeah, and then under waste management, we're looking at farmers being able to turn whatever agro waste is produced within the gardens into something valuable, and so that they can recycle it within the gardens every time they have a need. We realized in our baseline study that farmers are using a lot of inorganic compounds, and these might be antagonistic to our biodiversity conservation measures, and we want to go much of organic so that they're able to gain a lot from the natural environment that is within them. And that is the entire approach that we are taking. So far, our estimated cost for each living lab is $4,000, and the project AFPEC has contributed half of that. However, we still have a funding budget of almost half of that cost to meet all the 4 areas where we plan to establish these living labs. And beyond that, our farmer group is composed of 240 farmers, individual farmers, and all of these farmers have individual farms, and that is a whole huge number of farming households around the region. So we hope that if farmers are able to tap into the knowledge that is demonstrated in one living lab, they can be able to transfer that same knowledge into all other areas where they're having farming lands or spaces. And in pictorial, that is our model of engaging farmers. We do hands-on with them. We take them through each process. And as you can see in the small picture, sorry, I wasn't able to make it presenter mode. We try and make sure that the farmer groups are uniformly represented, where we have the young people, the youth, and then the elderly, because the youth are going to be future inheritors of the farms that their old people are leaving behind. So we want them to grow with this knowledge so that they can be able to as well adopt to these good farming practices. So far, our impact has reached about 4 districts, and we want to make sure that it covers the entire Mount Elgon region with these good practices. And at the same time, we want to make sure that the living labs act as an extension service to the farmers. Our country has a very small extension to farmer ratio, which we want to actually, it has a very huge farmer to extension service ratio, which we want to reduce so that farmers are able to tap into the knowledge and the services that we are able to offer as an NGO. So that's it, what I had to share with you. Thank you for listening, and I would love to welcome any questions if there are.
Oh, thank you so much, Daniel. That was very detailed. Cool. Anyone has any questions, feel free to unmute yourself, or you're going to write in the chat box. I can start first. I have one question because I saw that you mentioned there's a very interesting intergenerational collaboration, like between young people and also the farmers might be a bit older. How is it so far? Is there any challenges in terms of like people from different age range working together?
Yeah, thank you for that, Fatin. We have a very good experience of working with both the young and then the older group of people. And when the young look at their fellow young people engaging the bigger group, they are so much inspired. So them taking part in these group discussions or trainings is something that is motivation to them. So So far, we have no issue with the young sharing knowledge with the big people, and we've had a fairly good representation of all age groups, especially the major age groups within the project. Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much. Anyone else have any questions regarding the living labs, or if you are doing like a similar concept, and if you want to give like some feedback or sharing? Anyone? All good? Cool. Okay. Thank you so much, Daniel. I think you can also drop your contact details in the chat box
Okay.
in case if anyone have questions after this, or they want to collaborate with you or ask more.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. This has been great. It's really interesting to see the different work people are doing in their country, and also this month is more of like the theme is like young people. So it's really good to see young people leading these initiatives. Right. Cool. Cool. Thank you so much, Daniel. I'm gonna give you another 1 minute to drop your email in the chat box. And great.
Yeah. Up to them.
Yes. Okay. Cool. Okay. Cool. Thank you so much, everybody. I will also upload this session in our Notion page for those who cannot come. But again, thank you so much. Have a nice day. And for me, it's night. So I'll see you on the during the next one. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a nice day.
Bye.
Thank you.